exactly regarding, would you say?
Well, that one, I'll be honest with you, I kind of shelved my own podcast some time ago whenever I started doing the Common Sense Conservative. But mostly I would interview people running for office, kind of like this, but obviously we do it virtually, and I'd mesh it together. But it was people running for office, people talking about different issues and stuff like that. Also, I'd have members of Congress come on, or candidates for office, and just talk about issues that they want to discuss and help promote their cause, if you will. So I would bring people on that I genuinely liked, but wanted to know more about, and wanted the public to know more about.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you also said, with your time in the military, that you've visited 6 of the 7 continents.
Correct.
You've visited various capacities in nearly 36 nations, 46 of the 50 United States, and a U.S. territory and D.C. Yeah. So would you credit your opportunity to visit these places to the military?
Well, absolutely. Even though some of those were post-military, but it was as a result of having served in the military, making those connections, especially serving at the White House Military Office, that I made those connections. And once I retired, I served 4 years as a staff associate with the White House in the Trump-Pence administration. So,
what would you say your favorite place was to visit?
Wow, I could tell you. I think Paris was a good time, but living in Europe and being able to just see things over there was, that things that we don't even have here. Things that are hundreds of years old, and just being able to go see a cathedral or art museum and see a painting from somebody that's was in the 1400s or something. That's just unbelievable. Things that were painted well before this country was more than just a pile of some trees and some fields, if you will. So it's kind of wild.
I'm sure that's amazing. I would love to live in Europe.
Absolutely,
it's amazing. And since you are running for the Sullivan County School Board,
right.
So what changes do you hope to install if you do win this campaign?
Yeah, be more open and honest with the public, and I think at the same time, be a bulwark against bad ideas, whatever those bad ideas may be, whether they're from the left or from the right.
Yeah.
And at the same time, give people an actual voice on the county Board of Education, and bring them in so that way that they can have a say in public education and not just complain about things.
Yeah.
Open their eyes to what's really going on, and have them buy into what's actually going on in the school. So that way maybe you're going to get more funding for a program like this, or whatever the case may be, CTE, education especially. But open the public's eyes to what's going on, and again, make them a part of everything.
Well, that's amazing. And I mean, I think especially with elections, you could say like honesty is a very,
right.
You don't see it a whole lot.
No, you don't, absolutely. And I think it's a matter of the public, realizing that they have a say, and they can hold people's feet to the fire. And they have, a large voice if they vote people out of office. It's not a matter of just staying at home and saying, oh, it's all corrupt. Well, if you do that, guess what's going to happen? The people that are corrupt are going to continue to get reelected, because they're going to have a certain number of people that are going to keep voting for them no matter what. So the idea is to get them out of office, to reduce the number of bad things that they can actually do.
That's amazing. Honestly, I'm impressed. Like, that's amazing. What inspired you to run for this position?
Well, it was an open seat. We're having now partisan elections, which means you choose a political party, Republican or Democrat. And I think the person on there now is a quote unquote independent, which to me, I think you got to pick a side these days.
Absolutely.
So that way you give the people an idea of what you're all about. So the person in there right now, I'm not trying to bash the person, but he's been in there for a number of years. A lot of bad ideas have come out of his office, and he made a lot of bad decisions. I think it's time to retire the person. Send him home respectfully.
Yeah. And
I think that's about it.
So what do you think makes you the best fit for that position? What qualities do you have that sets you aside from other potential candidates?
Right. Well, again, the service in the military, the connections that I made throughout my career, I think in things that I've seen and experienced is a big thing. A lot of people, especially the other 2 candidates on the ballot, have never experienced things like that or dealt with large multi-million-dollar budgets. In fact, traveling the world in a diplomatic capacity, dealing with budgets whenever you travel the world, that you have to manage these spending into the tune of millions of dollars that these guys have never even seen or even could dream of. So for me, on day one, it's not going to be like a sticker shock. It's going to be like, okay, I've dealt with stuff like this before, not a problem. And I've dealt with personalities before as well. Yeah. So dealing with the different personalities and things like that isn't going to be much of a problem with me. I think it's going to be kind of old hat, if you will. It's just a different setting. So I do believe that I'm the best candidate because I bring all those things to the table, and at the same time, I'm not looking to make it some sort of career. I'm looking to do maybe 1 to 2 terms and move on. Let somebody else have a shot at it.
Nice. So, what do you think you would want to move on to afterwards?
Well, we'll see what what the future holds. But maybe another office down the road, perhaps. But I don't want to use one office to try to run for something else. I want to serve honorably and admirably, and then if it presents itself, then by all means move on to it, or move on to doing something else altogether.
That's amazing. Well, definitely sounds like you're sort of a jack of all trades. You sort of
trying to be a little bit.
Sort of been everywhere. But that is going to wrap up this interview. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely been amazing. So we'll send it back to y'all now. Thank you.